In our everyday lives, there are special people who show incredible bravery. They're not famous, but they do remarkable things that make a big difference. They might be your neighbor, a friend, or a stranger you pass on the street. These everyday heroes show us that being brave doesn't mean never feeling scared. It means finding the strength to act even when you are. They remind us that anyone can be a hero, and their stories warm our hearts and inspire us to be kinder and braver too. Come along as we share their amazing stories and discover that heroism is all around us, in the actions of regular people just like you and me. William Ayotte. In 2013, William, then 69, battled a polar bear that was savagely mauling a woman in Manitoba, Canada. It was 5 a.m. when I heard somebody screaming, "Help! It's a bear." I opened my front door, and there was a 275-pound polar bear sitting on its haunches with a woman in its mouth, waving her around like a rag doll. I thought to myself, I've got no weapon or anything. Then I saw my shovel sitting there and found myself going to get it. Once I picked it up, I thought, well, am I going to do anything, or is that woman going to die? So down the steps I went. When I got over there, I stepped up and hit the bear in the eye. I'd heard this is the best way to fight a bear. He let go of the woman, and she ran into my house. The bear reached out and grabbed a hold of me, and the mauling was on. He tore off my right ear, and I was waiting for him to bite me again. A neighbor fired a shotgun, but it didn't do any good, so he jumped into his truck and gunned it toward us. I was on my belly on the ground, watching this vehicle speeding our way, and it stopped about 2 feet away before the bear let me go. I spent 7 days in the hospital. They worked on me for 4 hours one day, to staple my wounds, and then for 4 hours the next day, putting my ear back on. So I came out of it pretty good. I never saw myself as a hero and still don't. You're dealt a situation, and you either respond or you don't do anything. People say, would you have done anything differently? I haven't the faintest idea. The only thing I could think was, if I don't do anything, she's not going to make it. Thank you will never be enough. He gave me life. It's the most remarkable thing a person can do, risk his life for another human being, a stranger. Aaron Green, attack victim. Donnie Navidad. In 2013, Navidad, then 61, saved a woman who toppled from a football stadium in Oakland, California. My friend and I were at the Coliseum to see the Raiders play the Tennessee Titans. After the game, as we were heading out, someone's phone fell and smashed near us, and then a bunch of people started pointing up. There was a woman up there on the edge of the railing. I turned to Glenn and said, "Do you think she's gonna jump?" He said, "Oh, boy, she's falling as we speak. It's about a 4-story drop from where she fell, and, without thinking, I just put my arms out as she came toward me." Listen, I was in the Marines, and even though that was 40-some years ago, I still think like a Marine. Fortunately, I still react like one once in a while. She leveled out flat as she hit my arms, and bounced off me and fell about 4 feet away. I fell to the ground, too, from the impact, and I blacked out for a minute. When I came to, Glenn was holding up fingers and saying, "How many do you see?" I was okay. The woman was alive but was in a coma for a while and had brain surgery. She later told me she was very grateful, they call her Miracle Girl. But what bothered me was that I didn't do a better job of saving her. I couldn't really latch onto her. Donnie's seen a lot. Shit doesn't scare him. Many people would turn away if they saw 100 pounds dropping down on them. But he just saved her life. Glenn Israel, friend. Stephen Williford. In November 2017, Williford, then 55, wounded a gunman who had just murdered 26 people in Sutherland Springs, Texas. I was in my bedroom, relaxing before work on a Sunday morning, when my daughter came in and said she heard gunshots coming from the First Baptist Church down the street. I went and got my firearm from the safe and ran outside without even putting on shoes, because I knew every pop, pop, pop might represent somebody's life. The shooter came out of the church wearing black tactical gear, saw me right away and started shooting at me. I returned fire. He hit the truck I was using for cover. He hit the car behind me. He hit the house behind me. I'm a former NRA instructor and competitive shooter, and I'm good with rifles because I trained during most of my adult life. I'd never been in a situation like this and never wanted to be. But let me tell you, those many years of training made a difference. Using a holographic red dot scope, I hit the shooter in a small area not covered by his bulletproof vest. He still managed to get away. He got into his vehicle and fired another couple of rounds through his side window. Someone in a pickup truck at a stop sign witnessed the whole thing, and I tapped on his window and said, "We gotta catch this guy." I got in, and the chase was on. As a Christian, I really felt that God was protecting us and guiding us. We were driving just as fast as this guy's truck would move, and we caught up to the shooter. He pulled over and stopped, and as I started to open the door, the shooter accelerated again and hit a road sign before going over a curb into a field. That's when the police say he shot himself. At that point we had already called 911, and the police arrived 5 minutes later. 26 people were tragically killed, but the survivors can rest easy knowing that this guy won't ever hurt anyone again. People hear this story and think I'm some kind of Rambo. I'm not. I'm the biggest marshmallow in the world. I'm the first person to cry at a sad movie. But you don't mess with my neighbors, my friends, or my family. Me? I was terrified. But I knew right away that Dad was going to step in. It's not in him to hide. That's just not what he is. Stephanie Williford, daughter. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel.